It's Song Talk Radio with Michael, Neil, Phil, and the gang.
Welcome to Song Talk Radio, the show with songwriters talking to other songwriters about the craft of songwriting. We share tips, tools, and techniques, and together we all become better at writing songs. We guarantee it. I'm your host, Mike Proudfoot, and with me are the members of the Song Talk Radio Action Team, my co-host Phil Emery and Neil Modi. During the show, please feel free to send your comments and questions to Song Talk Radio on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, or email us feedback@songtalk.ca, and we'll share them with the rest of the audience. And visit us at songtalk.ca to find out how you can be a guest on the show. We've got a great guest tonight, but just before we get to him, Phil, you had something? Yeah?
Yeah, one fun thing I've been doing is, when we record at home, it's hard to get our mixes to translate. And that's often because the rooms and the speakers that we have, they're not set up properly. We just plug them in and, the room can sound weird and, everything sounds strange. So I found this piece of software. It's free, actually. It's called Room Equalizer Wizard, or REW. And it's actually fairly sophisticated, and it'll actually allow you to profile your listening room with your speakers. So I got like a stereo 31 band equalizer, which turns out it's not the ideal one, but that's what I got. And it basically tells you get a special microphone that's calibrated, and you tell the software what microphone you have, and then the software basically puts a frequency sweep going from very low to very high, and it records the response of the room and basically tells you how your room is off. So whether or not maybe the lower mids are too high or the highs are too low or whatever and then you can use some kind of EQing to fix your speakers to get your room flatter than it would normally be.
Does the software do the EQ curve for you, like the corrective EQ curve?
Yep.
Okay.
Wow, cool. That's pretty handy. Yeah.
And what kind of microphone do you need? Like, can I use my SM57 and that'll do the trick?
No, there's actually ones that you can get. They're not very expensive, usually like $100, maybe $200. I got one from Behringer like many years ago because I tried this before and it worked out well.
What kind of mic is it then? Is it some kind of special mic?
It's a little. They call it a reference mic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they come with some AV receivers as well, so you can set up your room for.
And you can only use that mic for referencing. You can't use it for recording. Or
no, you probably could. It's very flat. I don't think it's like a lot of microphones have sort of sweeteners in them to make it
like a
respond nicer to vocal or instruments. And this is very flat. The idea is that it's a very flat. Okay. And I have to admit the difference has been really astounding. It's actually been great. The mixing in my room, I've started to mix with my monitors again, which is kind of a nice change.
Nice.
So that's REW, and we'll put a link in the show notes.
Cool.
Exactly. And other things you can find on our website, besides references to things we talk about in the show, also how you can be part of the upcoming meetup. We just had one last night. Neil, you were there. It was quite good.
I was there. I popped in for the second half, and
I liked your song. It was like an anthem for the Olympics.
Yeah. I think I wrote like 30 years ago, something like that. And it was it was great. There's some familiar faces. I think mostly familiar faces. I don't think I saw.
There was a young woman from Texas who hadn't been part of it before.
Oh, right. Okay.
Very cool.
And someone from New England, I think. Jay, I think, was from New England.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, but it was nice that there were a couple of people in the meetup group had started collaborating, and they were working together on songs and stuff. And it was really, I really enjoy it to see the members of the group getting together outside, the typical meetup and starting to collaborate and stuff. Because, like we've said on the show before, like this show grew out of the meetup. This podcast would not exist if not for that meetup. And many of the collaborations, almost all the collaborations I've been part of, including my band, were all people that I met at first in the meetup. So go meetup.
That's great. Yeah, and it's really nice when people come out and they share. It's it's a nice, trusting songwriter circle kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm. It is. Like, you don't have to be like, if you just started songwriting, you can come out and you can bring out like a song that's half written, or like, you don't have to be a master at your craft. You can just be starting out, and you can learn so much.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's better to bring in something that's broken or unfinished than to bring in something polished when you don't want to change it.
Yeah,
It's true.
Yeah.
Very true.
All right, let's get to the main event. Speaking of songwriting, we've got a great songwriter tonight. We cover all kinds of music on Song Talk Radio, but we don't often get to talk about hip hop. So I'm especially happy to welcome an outstanding rapper from the Tar Heel State, many miles to the south of us. Big Greg debuted in 2010 with his What's It Gonna Be Like mixtape while attending college in North Carolina. Greg began to draw comparisons to Drake because he could easily create catchy lyrics and sing. His first major single, Like a Stripper, received regional acclaim in the South, which led to many tours. His first award came in 2015 as he won the Hip Hop Artist of the Year at the Charlotte Music Awards. And in 2016, Greg won the Hollywood Music and Media competition for his song, You Can Have It All. His third single, Oh No, did really well in the South and snagged a lot of radio play, which leads to big expectations for his latest single, Hands Free, which we'll listen to in a bit. Big Greg, welcome to Song Talk Radio. Thank you for being on the show.
Hey, Big Greg.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, great to have you on the show.
So,
Go ahead, Michael.
sorry, go ahead, Phil.
No, you go
I
ahead.
was just going to. Okay, thank you. That's the problem with three hosts. So, have you always worked in hip hop in this genre? We wanted to talk about what was the same. Like, what's the songwriting process for that genre as opposed to other kind of genres? How do you approach songwriting?
I've always worked in hip hop. I guess my hip hop has not always been like the hardest. Like sometimes the first thing you think about when you think about hip hop is, you know, the hard ones with the guns and all this stuff and the cameras and stuff like that. You know, so I'm almost like, am I doing hip hop? Is there something one level down? You know, I don't know. But I mean, I guess I've been doing hip hop since about 2007, I believe.
Well,
Yeah, and
There's all kinds. And I wondered about, sorry, Neil, just wanted, about North Carolina, because J. Cole's from North Carolina and
Wow, yeah.
Rhapsody. And I was listening to some more that I wasn't familiar with, but there's a lot of, I don't know, conscious rap, but it isn't just about guns and gangs and the high life.
That's true.
It's a really, I was struck by a lot of artists from your neck of the woods have a really wide range of subjects that they sing about.
Yeah, J. Cole, if you listen to his music or his albums, you'll learn something actually, maybe about life, or, you know, he'll give you the perspective. He's not painting like a picture of, look at, I got all this money, blah, blah. He'll tell you like, yo, problems come with this. You know, he's like realistic. But yeah, we have so many different vibes down here in North Carolina.
well, and in truth, as a song format, there's a huge amount of variety in hip hop. It's not just one thing, and in any kind of, like in jazz. So you have, you know, soft stuff, hard stuff. I mean, it's you know, it's a huge style genre of music. I wanted to ask you, like, as a songwriter, I struggle with lyrics. It takes me forever to write lyrics, and you have so many words in this track. I'm just going like, how? Like, so what is the process? Are you just freestyling and capturing it and then refining it, or?
I think when you get to a certain level, you start to do that. I like to, what I always say to everyone, I like to make my music or my words and lyrics hug the beat. So if the beat drops, then maybe I'll drop. Or if the beat picks up, I'll pick up, talk louder, blah, blah, blah. You know, I like it to be exact. So that's how my lyrics are, just kind of, they go like right along with the beat, however the beat is. So I mean, that's how I describe it.
Are you like going through and like you must be like refining line after line after line, because the rhymes are really tight. I mean, they're not like some rap is so loosey goosey, which is kind of cool. Yeah. But I mean, yours was really tight. And I'm just going like, how do you do that?
I'll like flow the first 2 lines, you know, and once that is, then I start thinking of what I'm going to say next, or I'll think of something that's really cool to say. And I'll say, okay, I'll say that last. Let me think of all the things that I'm going to put before that. And then it'll hit hard at the end once I get to that last thing. But I do kind of like flow maybe, you know, 2 lines, and then I'll I'll figure out what else to say around that. Yeah.
So you
You've
coming
been
up
at this
with the
for
rhythm
like
first, or
Say what?
sorry, do you come up with the? Sorry, like do you sort of establish the rhythm and then like put the words
The
to it,
rhythm.
or? Okay.
Yeah, the rhythm too. The rhythm too. I don't know, man. And every song, depending on what you're feeling at that time, you got to say something. Like, I mean, we're real on this show. Okay, so I had an issue one time with my kid's mom. And then so when the beat played, that. What would I say to that person? Her she had like a little boyfriend or whatever, and he was getting involved. So I said, what would I say to him? And so once I said that, then that's picked up like for the rest of the song. That was the cadence I was going to use for the rest of the song.
when you're talking about this kind of flow that you do, like you're saying nowadays, but you've been at this for like 10 years. Like, is your flow tighter now than it was 10 years ago when you started out?
So much. I try to evolve, man. I don't know if hip hop nowadays. I mean, I respect everybody that's before me, but sometimes, we call them old heads. The old heads will just like shun all the new people. Like, no, that's not how we do it. That's not how it's done. That's not what it's like. I agree, but I'm not going to put down some new people, some new talent. And you can't ignore that. People are liking it. You can't ignore that. I mean, it is what it is. So I try to actually, try to evolve a little bit. So like hands free, that's not my original type flow, but I try to get that flow. And on July 16th, my album will come out, and there are so many different types of flows on that album. Just trying to reach out to this new crowd because I don't want to get stuck. I'm getting gray hairs now. I cannot let it, I can't let go. I'm trying to hold on with this new crowd right now.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that obviously it's a lot of practice involved, but it's also a lot of conscious thought. Like it's a lot of, I'm going to do this type of flow for this kind of beat and that type of flow. Like you're actually deliberately changing it up. You're not just going on what kind of feels right all the time, right?
Exactly. Like I will go on what I feel at the beginning. Like as soon as I hear the beat, I'll say like what I usually do. Then I'll step back, which is so hard, and say, no, that's trash. Let me try to get this, and sometimes, most of the time, I would say every time so far, once I've done that, which I regret letting it go like how I usually do it, I'll say, let me do this more poppy, digga-da-digga-da-da, digga-da-digga-da-da rhythm like the new kids are doing. And so far, I'm like, oh, I really like that part. So I was like, I didn't even know I could do it. I was like, man, that's pretty cool. It does sound pretty good. So it's been working out lately. I have not had one song where I'm like, no, it's not working.
Now, one of the issues I have is because when I'm working on a song, I'll usually do like maybe the chorus and a verse, and then I sometimes don't come back to it for years, and so trying to actually get that, not the passion, but you're in the zone, like. Do you kind of capture all this stuff immediately, or do you kind of have the idea and then come back to it? Or
I do. I have like two types. So at home, like I have my own little. That's what I was listening to you at the beginning. I was like, what is that thing he's talking about? And maybe it can help me with this room. I have this little studio here at home. And that music that I make at home is typically something that hits me. Like a friend of mine, a coworker, his son recently passed away of cancer. And it was sad because we're sitting here watching him go. Like the doctor's like, it's not working. Can't do anything. We're going to take him off. And that was very tough. And that kept bothering me and bothering me and bothering me. And never met his son or anything. I know the guy, very nice guy. But it just kept bothering me and stuff like that. Like for every member of my family that passed away, they have a song. Those things are like, or if I have an issue, like something that's causing some type of stress, I will be in here. And this is the only way to get over it. Like I'll listen to the song over and over again. I will not leave the song. Like that song will get finished. I mean, I'll be up till 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. finish that song, and then that's like therapeutic for me. So, but for my songs on my album, you know, those are a little bit different. I think I really have a skill. It's not bragging or anything like that. Hands Free, my manager heard that beat. He was like, man, I'm gonna buy this beat. It sounds really good. I said, I'll tell him, you can ask him. I'll do whatever you send me. I'm gonna do it, and it's gonna sound good. And that's what happened. He sent me that beat. So it wasn't anything like crazy. It was like, I was very confident. That's how that song was made. He sent me that beat. I knew I was gonna buy it. I don't even have to listen to it yet. I'm gonna make it good. And that's what we did. You know, I just went in the studio. Before I go to the studio, I have the song written, but I just sit down before I go in the studio and listen to it and just think about what that song makes me feel. And it obviously sounds like it's in the club or something like that. So that's where I take it.
Are the beats always created by somebody else? You get them online, or how do you get the beats?
My manager, he buys a lot of them online. Then we have this dude named Ron G that works out of Atlanta, I believe. Sometimes he'll make us a beat if we have something like an idea, you know, like the song we got called Rockstar that's on the album. It's actually hip hop with a rock beat, which is really interesting. And I have a lot of friends that listen to that type of music and the fans that listen to that type of music. And I just want to reach out and touch each one of them. And I want them to say, oh, snap. You know, some people like work out to that music too. I'm like, I want to get there, you know, work out to my music. You know what I'm saying? It's a risk, but I think it turned out really well.
Cool. How long would it take? Let's just talk about Hands Free. How long did it take you to actually write that?
Wow. Let me think about that. I remember, so like the single before that, Oh No, I literally wrote that before my studio time. So some songs I do that. I'll set up I need to get in the studio. Call the guy. Wait, when do you have available? Oh, tomorrow, this time. Oh, okay, tomorrow. I have nothing done yet. And I'm like, okay, all right, you know, all right. I got the beat. I got to get to the studio. Let's set it up. Boom, phone call hangs up, and I'm gone. I'm writing. And one time it was right before the studio, and it ended up being the song that we chose to be a single. So it's not, you know what, earlier you asked me, like, how do you pick the lyrics or whatever? And I remember telling a girl in college, she asked me the same thing, and it's true to this day. I can write about anything. You know what I mean? I can write about anything. I can write about anything, pretty much. I'm not going to write about my ring alarm, you know, but I can write about anything, you know what I mean? Like, so I'm not limiting myself. I can write anything I want to. The main things I focus on in my music is try to stay a little bit current. So don't say, oh, you're a loser. You know, I'm not going to say that, because it makes me a loser. You know, nobody says that anymore. So I try to stay a little bit current, and then I try to say a punchline somewhere in the song. And if I touch on those two, anything else, I feel, you know, as long as, like I say, all my songs hug that beat, I'm good. I try to say something funny, something like, people have different ideas of a punchline. Mine, if it makes you laugh, that was my punchline.
And you always start with the beat?
I always start with the beat. I always have the beat first. One time I tried to do without the beat first, and I don't like it. Now, I think one time where I had something similar, I had a beat that a young lady, first the intro to my album called G4. The album is called G4. The intro is called G4. And she played this little riff on the guitar. And then I wrote the song. I recorded it and played it over and over again, wrote the song. Went to the studio, and she played the riff a little different this time. So I had to, like, I didn't get the beat to hug the song like I like it. And, you know, she played it just slightly different. But the guy, the engineer, he was really cool. Name is Scott. He was like, man, I know what's wrong. You're hearing a song that we've never heard. You know, that's why you're having a problem with it. But let me tell you, what we hear right now is still beautiful, man. It sounds really good. And it does. And it took me a while to catch on, but it's not what I remember writing to. But it is. I can't handle it. I have to have the beat first. Even that little tweak in the beat, you see how bad it bothered me. So I'm y'all. It's just therapy. I'm like spilling my heart to you guys right now. It's still bothering me, but it worked out. It really did work out.
It did. So your song "Hands Free," it's much more positive. I mean, you're talking about hard issues before. Like, do you write? Like, is it kind of balanced? You always try to put some stuff that's a little bit more positive and happy, so to speak.
I do. I talk real stuff. Like, some songs are real. Hands Free. Actually, I mean, I was really just having fun with it. Like my intro, I'm actually telling real stuff because I don't know if you guys are familiar. I'm sure you are, because you guys are really deep in the music thing. But on the album, some people will talk about you having a radio type song, and then they want you to have something more personal or whatever. Yeah. So I don't even know the terminology, but but yeah. So I feel like all of my music, I don't know, I guess because I grew up listening to the radio, as our radio type songs. So I had to write, like, my intro to the album is actually very personal. It's only me and the young lady who she sings and plays the guitar. It's only us three. Her, the guitar, and me. It's nothing else. And that's how I made it personal. Then I talked about some issues that I had, how my guidance counselor told me not to go to college, based on my grades or whatever they told me not to go to college for, or, a really bad relationship or something that I had or whatever, so I actually brought some personal stuff in there. And now, so people feel like they will know me or know something about me when they hear that, and then they'll go back into the radio songs that make up the rest of the album.
Right.
That's a great way to think of it. Yeah,
yes.
No, I just want to talk about. So one of the things I noticed is that there really is a chorus to this song. Like, sometimes some rap can just be, it's a stream of consciousness, which is cool, but there's an actual, like, chorus, like a catchy, really hooky chorus. I mean, I was sitting there, like, I heard it once and I was singing it to myself. So it's a really. Now, are you like structuring your songs, going, okay, well, it needs to be a chorus here?
Always, yeah. And I think that's what makes it so radio ready. Is that same structure? Is like, either, sometimes I'll start off with the what is it called? Not the chorus, like a verse. I'll start off with a verse and then I'll go but typically it's like a chorus, verse, verse. And I'm really, really, for whatever reason, good at making chorus. So, like, if you like that chorus, then you're going to like my other music, because the chorus is always on point. Like, whenever someone sends me music to do like collaboration, I typically do the chorus, and that's how I like win them over. The collaboration. I feel really confident about the chorus. Like, whenever I write one.
Good skill to have.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Oh my God. I hear some people
even
struggle
your back
with
catalog.
it. Yeah. When I hear somebody struggle with the chorus, I'm like, it's too bad. I hate to be you. Thank God I was blessed. I was blessed. Now I hear people with strong lyrics like J. Cole, like you mentioned, like his lyrics, stupid, but sometimes I hear him struggle with the chorus. Sometimes he wants to step out of his boundary. He wants to kind of harmonize a little bit. And then, the person has to, like, kind of clean it up a lot, and you can hear that too much. And he's so raw. And now in your chorus, I can hear some computer stuff, so yeah, so I can hear people struggle with chorus. That is not me. I do not struggle with that at all.
Well, and one thing we always tell songwriters is, if your chorus isn't good enough, then just keep on working at it. Like, it may take you 2 months to get that chorus down, but that's okay.
Wow.
Like, Elvis Costello says sometimes he'll work on a line for like a year because it's just not good enough. He's just going, it's close, and it just. So I think you can, if you put enough attention to it, and it's worthwhile. But it's
true that.
But also, if you have to get an album done, that might be a little bit harder.
Studio book the next day, then
But also taking and taking it seriously enough, right? Like you give respect to the chorus. Like your songs are really radio friendly because you give respect to the chorus. So you spend the time working on it. And
wow, I like that. Respect to the
other
chorus.
ones.
I like that.
And because I was listening to like a stripper and was it You Can Have It All, and there's no doubt when the chorus hits, it's great, and it probably gives you a lot of freedom then in the verse to go a little further afield.
Yes, yes. I don't have to be like a J. Cole on the verse. You know, I have people singing the chorus on my songs. Like, especially at shows. That's perfect.
Yeah,
perfect.
for sure.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing that people are going to sing along with, you know, and that's why you want it. All right, should we take a listen?
Yes. Let's do it.
Here we go.
All right.
Who you whistling at? Me? Yeah, I like the way you do that dance with no hands. I like the way you do that. Say what? Say I like the way you do that dance with no hands. I like the way you do that. How you do that then? How you do that then? Taking everybody money when you do that then. How you do that then? How you do that then? Live with everybody mans when you do that dance. Alright. You ain't even see that. Nah, hold on, I'ma be right back. I'ma go and tell the DJ don't play that track. Why not? Cause she about to break that back. Okay, break that back. She do anything and everything to make that stack. I'ma throw this bread, then make that back. I'ma say I do, and then take that back. And that's crazy, but I'ma do it though. Try to be sneaky, but she knew it though. Look, doing everything just to prove it though. But me and your best friend made a movie though. Yeah, just like back in high school. I ain't talking haiku. Nope. Get knocked down, I got you. Right. Then get back up for round 2. Like. Yeah, I like the way you do that dance with no hands. I like the way you do that. Say what? Say I like the way you do that dance with no hands. I like the way you do that. How you do that then? How you do that then? Taking everybody money when you do that then. How you do that then? How you do that then? Live with everybody mans when you do that dance. Alright. You ain't even see that. Nah, hold on, I'ma be right back. I'ma go and tell the DJ don't play that track. Why not? Cause she about to break that back.
Yeah, she got an ass like Lori Lord. Feel me, y'all. Fashion over jeans on her, make me wanna cream on her. No doubt this girl make me wanna scream for her. Shaking that jelly, make a nigga wanna fiend for her. You sexy, sex me while you next to me. Follow these orders like recipes so I can rest at ease. Get my head straight, cause your head straight. Baby girl, you my world and your head great. I like the way you work that little body. Ass fat enough to make you hurt somebody. I put it on her in the club, then she looked back. Seen it was La Truth and she started throwing it back.
Yeah, I like the way you do that dance with no hands. I like the way you do that. Say what? Say I like the way you do that dance with no hands. I like the way you do that. How you do that then? How you do that then? Taking everybody money when you do that then. How you do that then? How you do that then? Live with everybody mans when you do that dance. Alright. You ain't even see that. Nah, hold on, I'ma be right back. I'ma go and tell the DJ don't play that track. Why not? Cause she about to break that back. Okay, bring that back. Now I ain't talking about your friend cause dang that flat. Now play that back, I said play that back. And I don't like your other song but dang that slap. See, I used to have to play just to get in the club. Still gotta pay just to get me some love. She used to walk around saying give me a thug. Till the judge gave me life, now she sitting with us. Yeah, this ain't right but it's true. Now what y'all expect me to do? Just let this lame try to play me. Well, guess what? Jokes is on you. Yeah, I like the way you do that dance with no hands. I like the way you do that. Say what? Say I like the way you do that dance with no hands. I like the way you do that. How you do that then? How you do that then? Taking everybody money when you do that then. How you do that then? How you do that then? Live with everybody mans when you do that dance. Alright. You ain't even see that. Nah, hold on, I'ma be right back. I'ma go and tell the DJ don't play that track. Why not? Cause she about to break that back. Woo!
So much fun.
That's great.
That's really cool.
It is such a hooky song.
It's
I'm
really
telling you, man.
It is like
it's
you got
loaded with hooks.
so many hooks all the way through, and it's just. And I guess, well, I mean, there's different styles, and I think some styles have. Maybe it's more about attitude than the hooks, but this is just cram full of hooks. Interesting how it starts off with a chorus, which, you know, pop songs, often you'll have an intro, then a verse, and then the chorus, but to actually start off with a chorus is...
Beatles did it all the time.
Yeah, I guess that's true, isn't it?
Well,
I prefer that. You know, and with TikTok, like you all heard of TikTok?
Yeah.
Yes, and that's how, you know, that catches a little bit quicker. If, you know, when they use your song in TikTok and get to the hook, that's what everybody loves. get to it right away. That works out perfectly.
I love that bit at the end. Hold on, I'm going to DJ. Don't play that track. It's almost like you're getting stressed out about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like,
Hold on a second here. I've got
It's a good contrast. Oh, sorry, go ahead. You go.
Yeah, I got a question about the beat. So excuse my ignorance about this, because I don't really do this, but when you buy a beat, do you get like various versions of the beat or the layers? So you can, because sometimes it's just the claps and the whistle. Sometimes it's the kick and the snare. Sometimes it's just you get the different sort of patterns that you can play around with.
Yes, you get they call it the track outs.
Okay.
So it's every track that whoever made the beat that they made to create that beat. But they obviously like kind of advertise it just like we heard it. And then when we get the track outs, we give it to
you get each individual element,
each individual instrument, everything.
The
You
stems,
can control the volume, the volumes to everything. You can take stuff out, obviously.
Yes.
So yeah, it works out good.
Cool. Good.
One of the things I liked about that, and you can really tell you're really in the pocket on the beat, hugging.
I'm a drummer.
Yeah, exactly, in the pocket. And it's a nice contrast because LaTruth is a little more skidding over it a bit, so it's really
looser.
clear you got two voices on this.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get a guest feature and you go, wait, where's the guest? Oh, that's the guest. They're kind of so identical, right?
Can you talk about that collaboration a little bit? Like it was your track and you invited him on to do that bit, or what was it?
Man, I'm telling you, I don't know. I'm be real. Like I said, this is real. We talk real. This young man has, probably over 10, 20 million followers on social media. And he's signed to my label. He does a little bit more independent than I am. Like I'm full on with the label. Like they handle all my stuff, but he just does kind of like lets the label do promo, help him with promo and stuff like that. But so we're tight. All the shows we do together, whatnot. And wherever I'm weak, he picks up like if you hear his lyrics and his verse, mine are just talking about all different crazy. It's all over the place. His lyrics are just really nice. His lyrics are always nice. If you listen to his music, sometimes it gets deep. Like he's really good with the lyric thing. And then when we get on stage, I'm the one that's crazy, as y'all can see. I go crazy on stage, and he's like church choir.
Contrast.
So we need to have that contrast
for sure.
But for this specific song, he was on my other song, like a stripper. This specific song, I obviously wanted him on there. We talked about where he was going to be. He's a really big name. So, he could have been the first verse, but I just feel like I don't want anybody to lose sight that this is my song. So we put him on the second verse on like a strip. What was it? I think it was, oh no, he was on Oh No, sorry. Oh no, he was on the third verse. It just took too long, because he shared it just as much as I did, but it always took too long for everybody to come hear his verse. So now we thought, okay, second verse is perfect. He'll go on the second verse. But as far as him being on the song, it's like that song was kind of going to be the single based on how good the beat sounded, and we just know we want him on the single because he's gonna spread that around the world, and he's a beast. Like he's gonna make it good every time. So
right on.
Yeah, it should do well. I got a question about the beat in this song because I guess what the whole album is going to sound like, because You Can Have It All was kind of much bigger, or not totally, but a substantially different production. It was a bit more like Drake or like Noah Shabib it was a different kind of vibe. This is old school. This is very beat heavy, and that's all that and the kind of that whistle sound. Is the album all stripped down, or do you go to all these different paint with all these different colors? What do you like to do with your music?
I took a chance and went to all the different angles. Like I said, That first song, me, guitar, and a young lady named Chelsea Locklear. If you don't know her, I'm just going to tell you to look her name up. She sings beautifully, and I'm going to just give it to you. I'm not going to drill it to you. You will bless yourself if you hear her sing. It's me and her and the guitar on the first song. I always wanted to do a song like that, kind of like that. When they do that little live thing on YouTube where they're with the instruments and singing. So that's what I felt. That's the kind of feel to it. So that song already, and hands free are just already shows you the contrast. That's going to be on the album. Then I already mentioned to you earlier, there's a rock song. Like I consider it a rock song. The instruments aren't, real. I mean, he made it on the computer. I'm sure, I believe he made, he played some instruments, obviously, but but he made that all on the computer. But I consider it a rock song. It's called Rockstar. So that there's also like, I don't even know the genre name clearly. It's either like kind of like a techno house kind of song. We did with someone from Dubai, I believe. You know how the DJs nowadays are, they get a beat or make a beat or purchase a beat and they get an artist on it and they say it's theirs. Blah, blah, blah. So that's how we came up with that song. He heard my Oh No song and he wanted to work with me. So he sent me the beat over. Never done anything like that. But I'm telling you, I'm pretty sure I killed it. At least the hook was good. We got the chorus. Everybody here knows at least the hook was decent on that song. But it was something I've never done before. So this album is going to be all over the place, and I hope that doesn't hurt me. I'm sure it can. I can't please everybody, but I've heard people say, "Oh no, this like Drake. Oh, the album is too singy." Or now, he's trying to be too hip hoppy and he needs to sing some more. So then he did an album with singing on one side on the side and flip it over and rapping on the other side, and people still complain. So I don't know. I can't please. Yeah, you can't please everybody, but I darn near tried. You know what I mean?
One thing I really miss about modern hip hop is, I kind of grew up with, with Public Enemy and like the heavy sampling, and Fight the Power is just a masterpiece from top to bottom. And there's like hundreds of samples on that. Now people aren't sampling as much as that, and I know that maybe it's more of a legal thing, but
too expensive.
Well, it's very expensive, but I miss it so much because it's such a, it's taking something from the past and bringing it and recontextualizing it and. But I know it doesn't happen. Have you played with sampling much yourself, or? I
have not. Kanye West was like one of the biggest samplers I've ever. Yeah, he sampled everything. Like he wouldn't even use his own drum line. He would take it from somewhere. But I have not dabbled in that, obviously, because we're all independent. So it would just cost way
Kanye
out of our
can
budget.
afford it.
Easily. But we cannot do all that.
Apparently, they didn't quite clear all of the samples in Fight the Power, but he said there's so many of them they probably can't tell.
Can't even tell. I don't even know who to call.
Sliced and diced to pieces. Yeah.
That whole album is really fascinating. They decided they wanted to do a version, like a hip hop version of Sgt. Pepper. So he had like a whole team working on finding samples. They actually had twice as many samples that actually made it on. It's Chuck D did a whole podcast on it. Really good.
Wow.
Definitely my favorite.
Yeah. Well, you will learn that I don't really I'm a hip hop artist, and if you talk to a lot of them that are really, really in the game, they've studied a lot of the people that come before them. Unfortunately, I did not have the chance to do that. Like a lot of the rappers will say, "Yeah, my mom used to listen to this, or my dad listened to this." My parents, they when I was, I don't know how old I was, maybe 5 or 6 or 7, they opened up a church, and we were not, and I went to church every day before that. And we were not listening to any of that stuff. Like I was listening to some old school Christian music, I think the only person I knew of was Michael Jackson. And then the first rapper I ever heard was Snoop Dogg. I was at one of my bad cousins' house and they were listening to that. And it wasn't like if I played if I make a show for my life, when that gets to that scene, I'm gonna be like, man, that sounds good. But that's not how it really happened. Like I'm listening to Snoop Dogg, like, man, that's devil music, That's what really happened. So, but we can't do that. We can't do that for the live show about my life.
In my movie, I'll be a lot cooler.
Yeah, the movie is gonna be like, wow, man. Maybe I can do that,
It'll be like the Queen.
Flash forward too, yeah.
It'll be like Bohemian Rhapsody, which had like almost nothing to do with reality whatsoever,
Sad.
Yeah, man. So I grew up in the church, man. And if you pay attention to my music, like I know my my partner there, with Truth, he did say some curse words and stuff like. I don't say any of my songs. I don't curse in any of my music, but I try to make it so trendy that you can barely tell. Typically people don't realize that until I tell them afterwards, like, oh yeah, you didn't. No, you didn't curse in there.
Yeah.
So
you got the chorus hook going, then you're fine. Like,
good. Yes, I'm telling. That's what they sing along to that, and then you got it.
So you were talking a bit about radio and and TikTok and wanting to appeal. What's the balance for you between wanting to make a hit, wanting to please yourself? How do you
I typically please myself here at my home studio, and then I feel like I will be able to get to that point where I can do what I want. But right now, it's like I need you guys to listen. I need you guys to hear this song. If I got to force it down your throat, so that just it's gonna take precedent right now. But eventually, once I like his style, boom, then I'll be able to get away with more of what I want to do. And I really like You Can Have It All. God, that's one of my favorite songs. It was the first song I ever recorded, like professionally, and it doesn't even sound that good. Like it could have been better. But that's the kind of music. Like if you ask me when I first started this, maybe I think me and Cody started maybe 5 or 6 years ago. Professionally, I would have been like, that's the music that I want to do all the time. I was always good at making the club type music, but I really like the You Can Have It All type songs.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I like that. It was a good track.
Slower song, yeah.
So when you're writing lyrics, do you write are you writing like twice as much and then picking out the good stuff, or?
No. When I write it, it's pretty much it. Like that is the song. Yeah, and then and like I said, if I got to go back and change it, it's either to make something fit. Like I'll just change one word. Like let me take have out. I don't even have to say have. Sometimes like the college will kick in and I got to write it the way it's supposed to be. I'm like, no, that doesn't even sound right when you like put it with the music. Like I gotta, I'm going to go to the store. No. I gotta go to the stove. It's not even store. Like I gotta write stove. Remember, I gotta write
right.
Yeah, I gotta go to the stove.
It helps to go to the store.
Yeah, I gotta snap out of that. And even when I write, I'm like, I'll write it and try to remember it. And I've recently learned, like, no, just write it how as ratchet as it sounds. Write it the way it is, and then it just flows a lot better.
Yeah. You advocate always doing a bad first draft.
Yes. Yeah. There you go.
Are you actually like physically writing on paper, or are you typing it in a computer? Or?
I've started to like do it on my phone now. Like I can do it. When I'm in the studio, it's just easier to go like this than my paper. I started off writing on paper, and I will really recently started doing the phone. Maybe like the beginning of last year, I started using the phone. And then recently, like the song I told you about my friend, I kind of wanted to write that one from the heart. So I kind of freestyled that one, didn't write anything. Just kind of said it and then recorded it and like, yeah, that's good. And then let it play and then try to catch off the jump up, after the last thing I said, say something and like, no, that doesn't work. Go back, play it again, say, oh, that sounds good. And record it so it's clear, So that was interesting.
So you must be like when you're doing the freestyling, you must do you have to sort of not get in your own way? Because I think when you gotta just vomit. You gotta say what you want to say. If it doesn't fit, you can move a few words and make it fit. But you gotta kind of say what you want to say. That's the advantage of freestyling, is you're gonna say what's on your heart, on your mind. Whereas if you were writing it, you would be like just thinking more. You would putting more thought into each line. Whereas if you freestyle to get the benefit out of it, you gotta just kind of vomit it, let it come out. And then if it's trash, like if nothing's gonna be trash, you can be like, oh, I can save that for later. I might even I'll hit space 100 times and then write that down there and then come back up here. If I was right.
When you perform on stage, is it always like as per the record? Or do you freestyle on stage and do some different?
I'll say like if I don't know if y'all ever done this, but I'm like, man, I should have said that. Like you listen to the song for like 5 months, you're like, man, I should have said this. I'll say it on stage like I wanted to say, like I wish I said it on the song. Right. I'll do that, or I'll add some little ad lib stuff in there. Man, I wish I could think of the part where I add each time, and I'll perform it in "Oh No." I wish I would have said it on the song. My the Truth was on the song with me, and he always says, "Man, you always say that when we actually perform it." But it's like in between, instead of saying just saying "but," I go, "Boo, boo, 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 boo," you know. I say that in between. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it was funny. So yeah, I do what I feel when I'm on the stage. Like if you see me perform, you'll be like, yeah, he's crazy. I mean, I'm not surfing, you know, I'm not crowd surfing, but I'm like one notch down from that. Yeah. Yeah, I had a lady one time throw some money up. You know, I was like, you know, and she's like, throw some money. I was like, I need that. You know, don't play. I got 3 kids, man.
Yeah, it's brilliant stuff. Yeah, it's
really
Thank you.
the line
album's
about
coming out. Sorry, I just want to say, the album's coming out July 16th, right? And how many tracks?
Yes, man. I can't even remember. I think it's like 12 songs, I believe.
All right.
But don't quote me on that. Could be.
What's the album called?
It's called G4. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
G4. It's basically my projects. So this would be my 4th project. This one is on a different level than the other ones. The other ones were like recorded. One of them I recorded in my dorm room. And one of them I recorded in the kitchen, you know, in my apartment. You know, so like one of them in my bedroom. So those were like a little mixtape type of deals, but I didn't want to exclude those. So I wasn't going to be like, yo, this is Big Greg album 1. You know, like those projects counted. You know, I put a lot of work into those projects. So I called it G4. My name's Greg, and it's my 4th project. So G4. And then I also threw in a little, you know, a G4 is an airplane. So I'm like fly, you know, I'm also a fly type of guy, you know, in my opinion. I don't know how y'all feel. So it kind of play on words right there.
Yeah, G4.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah, I just want to talk about the lyrics one more time. There's the one line which I thought was so great is she used to walk around saying, "Give me a thug." The judge gave him life. Now she's sitting with us. And I just thought that was just so tasty.
That's so funny. There's a reality behind that, and then I just kind of like there's somehow how that involved my life, and then at the same time I made it so it's understandable to everyone. So like my kid's mom, she's dating this guy now, and he got locked up before, and he's like he got kind of mad because, you know, I guess we were together when they were locked up. And I was like, I didn't even know about the guy. It's not on me, but, you know, if you didn't get locked up, we wouldn't be in that situation. But so that's kind of what that line was for, you know, in reality. But at the same time, it's a real thing. Like, you know, back in the day, you know, the nice guy was not the one. You know what I mean? Like in school and high school.
Oh, true.
You know, the nice guy, you were not getting the girls. You know what I mean? So
you're such a good friend.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, okay, you know, whatever.
You never want to hear that.
Meal. Yeah, I'll pay for the meal, but damn, you know, you could have paid if we were just friends. But yeah, so the nice guy, I kept losing. You know, just like that, I was the nice guy, and they always wanted to thug, and now so I'm throwing it back in their face, like, you know, I feel like I'm slightly successful and. You know, you missed out. You know, you wanted that thug, but he locked up now, and now you trying to come over here and sit with us.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So there's all kind of angles to that.
A great line.
Yeah. Brilliant stuff, I think.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I'm just really definitely will. And also, I've always felt that 12 tracks is the ideal number of songs for an album. I think anything more, because I remember when the CDs first came out, they used to, you know, put like 24 tracks.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Nobody wants to hear 24 tracks of anyone, you know. After a while, you just. And I think a lot of those early people who had CDs, I think their careers got screwed because they had 24 tracks, and that's 2 albums, and so their second album was so exhausted because. 24 is a lot of songs to have 24, you know, good songs. So,
right, yeah, I feel like when I see that, I'm like, man, they had a lot of throwaway tracks that they just said, just put it on there, and that's just not appealing to me. I feel like, put your hard work on there, and the one that turned out well, throw those on there, and some personal ones on there, and you should be good. But it is what it is.
10 to 12 good ones, way better than 24 of everything.
Yeah,
I don't think.
yeah.
I mean, it depends. If it is a lot of filler, then yeah, no good. But if it's conceptual, like The Wall, for example, is a really long album, but there's nothing throwaway on there.
Well,
That's amazing.
Yes, it's all supposed to be there, but I mean, like some of Drake's albums are like they're so long they don't need to be. You know?
They don't need it. He could have been fine. Yeah, I understand that.
but if he ever wants to come
guess-
on our show, he should still, we'd
Yeah,
still
he's
have him
still to
on.
come.
Yeah, exactly. We'll appreciate his his output at that point. You're so prolific.
That is exactly how that interview would go. That's hilarious.
But I really look forward to hearing your album when it comes out.
Man, I can't wait too. Y'all need
Good
to have
luck
me
with it.
back on after the album. Yeah,
Yeah, would love
that
to.
would be a good idea.
That'd be cool. Yeah.
Excellent. All
Well, I think I hear the band.
I hear the music.
I hear the music,
I'm
yeah.
sorry. That is all the time we have tonight on Song Talk Radio. So thank you very much, Big Greg, for joining us.
you,
at
sir.
home, please send us your
Thank you.
impressions on Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram to @SongTalkRadio, or send us an old-fashioned email at feedback@songtalk.ca. And be sure to check out our YouTube channel for live performance videos soon, and full episodes of us talking in little boxes like this. And stop by the site at songtalk.ca. You subscribe to the Song Talk Radio podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher.com, Spotify, or Podcast Addict. And you can also sign up for a free newsletter at songtalk.ca, where you can also find the books and products and helpful tips that we mentioned during the show. On our resources page, we've got a Song Talk meetup coming up next month, so you can also find out how to join that on our site. And if you want even more of us, well, first of all, Big Greg, what's the best way online to find you? What's your best
All my
media
social
site?
media, all of them are the same. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok is Big Greg PLK. That's Big Greg BIGGREG PLK.
PLK.
Okay.
Excellent. And if you want more Neil, where do we find you?
NeilModi.com.
Phil.
PhilEmery.ca.
And me, Proudfoot420 on Instagram. All right, so stop by the website at songtalk.ca to browse past shows, find out how you can be a guest on our show, and please keep writing and keep writing to us.
That's it. Good night.
That's all.
Good
night.
I thought you were going to do something bigger at the end.
So did I, but my computer froze up.
Oh no, your Zoom is still
The
working.
whole spiel, but I hit the wrong button.
You got to learn how to freestyle. That's the thing.
That's not in my skill set.
Harder than it sounds.
If Greg found out how long it takes me to finish off a lyric, he would die.
That is crazy.
Shameful.
And that's it.
And scene.
Cut.
I was delighted to find out. I was doing some research on North Carolina rap scene, and Big Daddy Kane moved to North Carolina.
Oh wow! Yeah, that's,
I did not know that. He
legend.
was like one of my favorites in the early days. He's
Didn't know
talking
that
about
either.
lyric writing. The man is just so good.
Didn't know
So
that.
yeah, and Biggie Smalls lived in Raleigh for a while, I think.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I've only associated him with New York. I did not know
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so apparently that's maybe that's where rappers go to retire too.
that. Yeah, true story. True story. You know, as soon as the music started playing, like when it was ending, like my kids started bumping over here. Like that was the ending stuff for my side of it. They were like throwing balls on the wall. I'm like, what? Okay, it's time to go.
Come on, Dad, let's go.
Gotta go.
But I got my own music over here. That's
That's
hilarious.
brilliant. I hope you'll come back on the show again. We'd love to have you on.
I would love to, man.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I
This is
would
great.
love to.
Yeah.
This is really, this is an interesting interview. I have never had one like this. I like
Cool.
that. I like that.
Good. Tell your friends.
Good.
I will.
Yeah,
I will.
spread the word. We'll get more on.
right.
So
I'll
good luck
let the
with your record release, and we will talk to you again in the near future.
Thank you, my brothers.
All right.
Take care, man.
Take care.
Take care.
Y'all have a good one.
Yeah.
You
Bye.
too.
You too.
Cheers.